Sairam, everyone. Just to recap what we discussed last week, Swami, in this chapter 4 in Dhyana Vahini, Swami is talking to us about the need for cultivating the proper attitude and qualities while we interact in this world externally. Swami is giving equal importance to how we deal with this outside world. Just as in meditation, there's a practice of inner practice, there's an exterior practice, and Swami is going on to talk about that. Swami says that we have to cultivate all good virtues, and we should root out all bad qualities. And through that process, Swami says love can flow from us to this world outside us. And that's what we discussed last week, as Swami spoke about not having desires, completely rooting them out, and also rooting out all bad qualities, the six bad qualities like kama, krodha, lobha, moha, madha, matsarya, um, just desire, anger, jealousy, uh, miserliness, and so on. So Swami wants us to root them out, and we should take pleasure and joy in the well-being of others. When others are doing well, we should be overjoyed by that. We should be able to suffer when anyone harms us. Not only we should accept it with forbearance, we should also forgive those who may harm us, and so on. So those were the things which we discussed, and I think we discussed quite a bit about desirelessness. And so I thought, I will start off with something, because desire is, I think we had an elaborate discussion on whether we should have desire or not. Desire is something which our mind craves for when it does not have it in the present. That means in our present situations, we may not have something and we want it. Our mind is waiting for something like that to happen. But in meditation, actually, we are trying to be in the present moment. Whatever our circumstances is, whatever our conditions are, we should make the best use of it. And I think that's why Swami is also saying, look out for opportunities to serve. So desire is something, craving for something which we don't have. But in meditation, by being present in our present condition and place and situation, we should look out for opportunities where we can serve people around us. That's what I thought. That was one of my afterthoughts. So I thought I'll share that, and we will continue from where we left off, and others can join in with your comments, please. Sairam. Sairam, Sister Kalyani.
Saram, so I'll start with reading the slides. The placid, calm, unruffled character wins out. When this mind matures and attains fruition, it easily becomes free of all qualities, placid, calm, and pure. It easily merges in the one, Atma, without a second. Each person has the unique chance to taste the inner peace that such a mind can grant, but unfortunately, most are strangers to the unshakable joy and equanimity that is their birthright. Meditation is the only island of refuge in the ocean of life for all beings tossed on the waves of desire, doubt, dread, and despair. This Vedantic truth must be present in the mind even while the world of objects is being attended to. Consider the condition of this world hundreds of thousands of years ago. At that time, this globe was the scene of only two things. On one side was the fiery lava, which poured forth from the volcanoes and crevices that scarred the surface of the earth. The flood of destruction descended on all sides and spread fear and death in the regions around, as if the end of everything had come. On another side, the scarcely noticeable molecules of living matter, the microscopic amoeba, floated on the waters or clung to the surfaces among the rocks, keeping the spark of life safe and well protected.
Thank you, Sister Narmada. So Swami is again talking about the need for us to be calm and placid and pure. And Swami says that's the only way the mind can merge with the Atma, because meditation, the path of meditation leads to the state of samadhi, and which is the merger with the divine. So what Swami says is that is only possible when we ourselves reach that state of Atma, and through that process we can merge into the Atma. And I think Swami also is saying, that meditation is the only thing which can give us refuge in this world of existence where we are troubled by certain bad qualities. Again, Swami is talking about desire, doubt, dread, and despair. That he said we are always tossed by these qualities in us. Then Swami gives a nice analogy of how millions of years ago, when the earth was being formed, how life itself struggled to exist, even though the fiery lava of volcanoes were raging on the surface of earth. This small, insignificant amoeba, one cellular living being, survived all this fury of the early stages of formation of earth. So Swami says, so that same way, I guess Swami wants us to understand that the divine spark within us, even though it may be insignificant, can survive all these waves of bad qualities and which rage in our own heart. It can survive, and Swami gives us hope that we can survive anything, any onslaught which we are faced with. So those are just my comments to start off the discussion. I would invite all of you to share your thoughts and impressions, please.
Sairam, in the second passage, specifically, Swami said each person has the unique chance to taste the inner peace. So, is that maybe each person has the different experience, or instead of saying each person had the chance to taste, why Swami said each person has the unique chance? That means that maybe individual dhyana experience, it would be different from others. Maybe if someone tells us, I have experienced, this way or that way, that may or may not be the same for the other person. I want to know the clarity why Swami said unique chance, maybe even someone tells us, I experience in such a way, then as a unexperienced Dhyana person may be thinking that, I never had that sort of experience. That's why I haven't even experienced. Maybe that may be the reason Swami well ahead advise us that your experience, it would be very unique. That's why you don't compare with others' experience. Maybe a little bit of clarity on that particular sentence. If anybody can explain that particular sentence. Unfortunately, Swami even said, most are strangers to the unshakable joy and equanimity. That is their birthright. So I thought that sentence is really interesting, and we could explore a little bit on that one. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. Anyone who would like to share your thoughts, please, about this?
Saira, I think the word is confusing. That's what she's confused now. Actually, the word could be incomparable chance to taste, incomparable chance. So, maybe in Telugu, I don't know whether it could be another word, unique. Unique is, each person has unique means different. So, but Baba, I think Baba was trying to say that it is not worldly, it is very unique for everybody. It was meant to say to everybody, but the language is, as he said, not very good.
Saira, I think Swami meant that unique chance means that the human birth is the unique chance for everybody. No, this is not a simple chance. No, this is very unique chance. That nobody can't know that the human birth is the. Then we had to wait for a long time to get the human birth. We got the human birth, then we had to get that opportunity. That we had to use that. Use that birth, because one time the people are asking that Sai Gita. Sai Gita was a very big devotee for Swami. Said then somebody was asking Swami that maybe she get liberated from here. Somebody asked to Swami. Swami said no. She's going to get human birth next. The human birth is not a simple birth. Everybody knows that. That's what I am thinking. Thank you, Saira.
So the Telugu word which is being translated here is the word Bhagyamu. Bhagyam. Okay, I think anyone with some knowledge of Indian languages will now understand what is Bhagyam. So Swami says, Anubhavimba Gala Bhagyamu. So everyone has that experience,
treasure,
the treasure which we can experience. So that has been translated as unique chance, Bhagyam.
But the experience always for devotees, each devotee is unique, right? You cannot compare. So that is something I think is referring here. Everyone's experience is different with Swami. Its heart-to-heart connection with each other is different. That's the way I take it. Thank you, Sairam.
So Sairam, brother. So my understanding is everyone has the power. Everyone the God has given to do the dhyana. But what is stopping is doubt and attachment, all kind of things. How we can get rid of that one? Only with dhyana. So everyone has the power God has given. Thank you, Sairam, brother.
Sairam.
Sairam, if the Telugu version is Bhakyam, then the unique is not that equivalent to Bhakyam. That's my understanding. The unique is it's different from the equivalent to Bhakyam. Bhakyam, it could be treasure or some other translation, but unique is Yeah, unique is not definitely for the Bhakyam, Didi. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and the sister Aruna's thinking is that that's before the final stage, before the final beatitude, it could be different, but the final could be the same for each and everyone. So here Baba talking about the final beatitude that should be the same for each and everyone. So the word treasure is that's a blessing, something like that. Thank you, sir.
Oh, Sairam. That's something good to analyze it, but something in the final stage going to be different kind of?
It's not different, not different. So here it says different.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
But the final stage is only one, so there's no two.
So the small language, usage of language.
Yes, good. Thank you, sir, Brother Sivadas. Thanks.
So if there's no other comments, I think we could just move on to the next slide, if it's okay. Sairam, Sister Narmada.
Upon which of these two, one boisterous and bright, the other quiet and secluded, would you have built your trust? At that time, surely no one would have believed that the future was with the amoeba or the animalcle. Who could have foreseen that these minute specks of life could hold out against the gigantic onslaught of molten lava and earth-shaking upheaval? Nevertheless, the speck of life consciousness, Chaitanya, won through, unheralded by fire and dust, by swooping gale or swallowing floods, the amoeba in the process of time, and by the sheer force of life principle it embodied, blossomed into goodness and strength of character, into art and music, into song and dance, into scholarship and spiritual discipline and martyrdom, into sainthood and even avatars of Godhead. In all these, the history of the world is found summarized. In the confusion of overpowering events, we see people sometimes placing faith in loud and noisy men who are enslaved by their own passions. But this is the passing phase. It will not last. When things are placid, calm, and unruffled, people can merge themselves in the atmosphere of delusionless consciousness, which is the highest they can reach. The peace, Santi, they taste there is subtler than subtlest. They must ascend to it through effort guided by reason, through meditation, when the enjoyment is full and complete. It is no other than the divine status, the coveted goal of life. People do not generally strive for it because they know nothing of its supreme attraction. Meditation gives them the first inkling of that bliss.
So Swami is giving every one of us hope that through a calm, steady manner, by cultivating it in our own hearts, we can overcome any challenge in this world. Just the way that one small speck of living organism in amoeba evolved into the humankind, and all this which we see around us has blossomed from that small one cell living organism. So same way Swami says, even by planting that goodness in us and through the path of meditation, cultivating a pleasant, calm state of mind, we also can reach the state of divinity, and we have come so far, so we can still proceed. Is what I think, that's a hope Swami is holding out for us. And I will stop there, and I will ask for others to comment on whatever impressions or thoughts which come to you, Saira.
Sairam, brother. Here is very, very not interesting. I don't know the word. We can say even avatars of Godhead. So, from the amoeba, one cellular living being, it ever evolves into higher status. And Baba says even avatars of Godhead is an evolution from an amoeba. So, so in this way, Bhagawan is in one way, Bhagawan is giving confidence to us, give confidence to us that you can come like me. Correct? That's the meaning here. The text is here like that. So how would what is your comment on that?
So I will. Yes, Swami. Swami has always told that I realize that I am divine, and you don't realize. That's the reality.
Yeah.
You don't realize that you are the Atman. Ultimately, that's what it is. So, from my understanding, see, once one merges with the Lord, when such people take birth in this world, they are always called Avatar Purusha, or they are all called Amsa Avataras, Purna Avataras, and so on. There are many people who are considered Amsa Avataras, because from childhood they have demonstrated divinity throughout their life. Even if they don't have all the grandeur of a Purna Avatar, there are many people in this world who are considered Amsa Avatars. They definitely embody some divine aspect. So they are people who have sort of merged into, not merged, they are merged into the divine. And when they come back to earth, they take human form. They are all considered avatars. So that's my understanding. So I will open it up for others to comment also, Sai.
Sairam, brother, you just mentioned that Amsa Avadars and the Purna Avadars. What is the difference between the Amsa Avadars and the Purna Avadars?
Okay. Because the word avatar was used, so I thought I would mention that. Anyone else who would like to comment, please? I don't know, Mani Auntie is there, others are there. I don't want to be the person who is speaking. Please speak up, Saira.
Sairam, Amsa Avatar is for one purpose coming that take the avatar and go back. No, that like when that milk ocean was churning. That time that Krishna was come as a turtle and then finished that job and went back. That's Amsa Avatar. Purna Avatar is Sri Krishna. No, he did that. He start from beginning, from the childhood, the baby, then come up to the end. No, that's that Purna Avatar. He did that. He proved that his divinity at the end of the time. No, all the lifetime. That's it. Thank you.
Sairam, I think Swamis, we can call it Purna Avatar. And time to time, people come to the world, and the purpose of the thing we heard from our childhood, lots of avatars. That is Amsa Avatar, I think. But I don't want to say examples because I may be wrong. I don't want to say it, but Swami is Purana Avatar.
As we said, Rama and Krishna, Swami is the Purana that we heard that. That's it. Right, like that. So.
Sairam, Bhagavan once said that each and every human being is an avatar. I very clearly remember it. Because everybody is a form of God. But some, as brother explained, that some not karmic birth. So they take birth for the benefit of the humanity, for our brother Rasaya said, for that purposes. And Baba himself only said about Rama. Rama shared some aspect with his brothers. Only Krishna was full. He himself had everything, and like Sai Baba, Sathya Sai Baba. So, brother nicely said that could be the answer for this one, brother's answer for here, for this paragraph. Even avatars of Godhead, Sister Ambika was scared of telling the examples, but Baba has said widely about the Sri Chaitanya, Ramakrishna, Varamsa. These people are Amsam, part. Amsam is part of the glory. So here we are coming to the understanding that each and everybody can have can come to a Amsavadar state. Amsavadar state we can come. That's something like that. Even Baba. Baba had said also, somebody asked about Jesus Christ. Then Baba said, he is the messenger of God. So far, according to Baba's, the Sri Krishna was full, and Rama was also full, but he shared part of his glory with his brothers. And also he said, yeah, thank you, Sairam. Go ahead, please.
Sairam. Thank you for the explanation, Brother Sivadas. Because, when I come and say, then I don't want the debate in the study circle. Swami always says, study circle always, all the audience, the participant, they can give their opinions, but we never shouldn't debate. But if anything wrong, always we had to correct also. Like that day, Jnanam and, that kind of thing. But brother, I don't know, always correct too. But each and everyone, when we know something from Swami's teaching, anything we have evidence, we have to say the evidence, and this chapter says, or something like that, is help the audience to understand. I don't want to confuse people's mind. That's why I don't want to say the name. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam. Brother Sivadas said that, but then I'm just reminded of when Hislop asked us, Swami, whether after Rama and Krishna, you are the Purnavadar. Right away, Swami responded, what about Shirdi?
Yeah.
So that's, and also my thought, maybe, I don't know, Sivadas can comment on it. That analogy Swami gives, as Brother Aruna said, is a very beautiful analogy of that amoeba surviving through all this thing. I think Swami trying to say through that there are good subtle forces working behind the scene. So outwardly, we might see adharma and whatever, noisy, gross things are so powerful and all that. But for a spiritual aspirant, if it genuinely try this dhyana and all that, God's subtle force will help him to win this thing. And I just thought of pointing out that side.
Sairam, brother. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please?
Brother, can you, because it looks like Baba is comparing this fiery lava with boisterous fiery lava with people who what do you call some noisy, loud and noisy men. In the confusion of overpowering events, we see people sometimes placing faith in loud and noisy men who are enslaved by their own passions. So I don't know whether he's Baba's comparing them or just mentioning.
Okay, so I think that's a good question, brother. I have also sort of contemplated on it. See, what Swami is trying to, what Swami is talking about, the boisterous and loud people, is an analogy from what I understand. See, ultimately, the meditation is an exercise within oneself. So the thing is, we are struggling with the forces within us, within the mind. That is where all the action takes place in meditation. So what Swami is saying is, in general, in this world, loud and noisy people get the attention. They are on the headlines or whatever. And everyone pays attention to them and they think that they are the ones who are going to win. Or they are the ones who are successful and things like that. So also, in our own mind, certain tendencies will push and show up as if, come join me so we can win this situation. So usually that kind of attitude is taken by qualities like, desire, dread, anger, violence in our own mind. When there's something wrong, sometimes these negative forces are, up ahead of everyone else. All the other good qualities, the good qualities like patience, forbearance, they are calm. So what happens? Normally, human beings choose these very boisterous qualities in them, and they think that will solve all the problem. But what Swami is trying to say is, if we place faith in the good qualities, which may seem to be very slow, which may be not very loud, which may not even promise success, because we think, if you are so silent, people will walk all over you, things like that. Yes, there is to some extent we have to be firm and face the world. But sometimes we lose faith in qualities, good qualities. So Swami says, even when whatever seems weak, if that has the life force in it, like the amoeba, which is a small one cell living organism, how it won over all this lava and everything was only because it had that divine spark which was active, that active life spark, even though it was insignificant. So what Swami is saying is, the good qualities all have this divine spark within them. So place all your faith in the good qualities, and those good qualities will triumph at the end. All our Puranas like Mahabharatam or Ramayana, all of them prove that even like Rama went with a monkey army to fight with Ravana, who tramped over even Devendra. But Rama proved that even the monkeys, with divine help, they can win over Ravana. Same story repeats itself in Mahabharata, where the Pandavas were outnumbered by the Kaurava forces. For all practical purposes, Duryodhana would have walked all over them. But because Krishna was there, the divine spark was there, they won over. So what Swami is saying, we should place our faith in goodness, in anything which is divine. Even in the initial stages, it doesn't look very loud and impressive and so on. That is what I understand. So I hope others can share their thoughts, please, Saira. I don't think the question is only meant for me. So anyone else, please share your thoughts.
There are two analogies Swami is giving. One is about the amoeba surviving the onslaught of molten lava and earth shaking up fuel because that amoeba had the chaitanya, the life consciousness in it. That is out. That's one analogy. Second analogy what Arun said was, inside us, we have these two types, Pandavas and Kauravas. The Pandavas are outnumbered by the Kauravas. The good qualities are very, very few in us, but the opposite is more. In spite of that if we can concentrate and try to nourish those good qualities, definitely we'll be able to succeed in life. So it's a very nice analogy Swami has given, which applies to all of us. Sairam.
Sairam, I agree with the aunties too. In human thing, in our life, we don't realize we have two qualities like, the Ravanas and the Pandavas. Yeah. But more we
Kauravas
have
and
is
Pandavas.
more negative energy. Yeah. Sorry, Kauravas. Yeah.
Kauravas.
Sorry, Kauravas. Yes, sorry. We have more and more negative energy. We don't even realize because one is to three like that. More we develop in more negative is go increases like without even knowing. The mind is tricking us. That we have to be very, very careful. Sairam.
Sairam.
There's a comment in the chat box, actually privately said to me from Brother Yoga Kumar, so I'll just read out. Sai Ram, am I right or not? Sai avatars are Paripurna avatar. It will happen again in another cycle of creation. Sai avatars is a special edition for now only. It will not happen again. Sai avatar, another cycle. Somebody want to say something, Sai Ram? So on this point of avatar, just to complement what I had said, because Swami is talking about this evolution. He says, we strength of character, then we go into music and dance, scholarship, spiritual discipline, then martyrdom, then Swami says sainthood, then he says avatar. So that's why I said Amsa avatar, because once we understand that we are Atman, still the progress continues until we become fully merged in the Lord. But at that stage, we have sort of identified, if we have reached that state, we identify with Atman and continue that journey until merger. So such people are come back again to continue their journey, but at the same time, they are not at the human level. They would still be considered avatars. Swami uses the word Daivamsa Sambhuta, like that. People who are manifesting divine attributes. Then they become Amsa avatars. And I think even in the Dasha avatars, the 10 avatars, we can see there are evolution of avatars. Krishna is born as fish, tortoise, Narasimha, and so on. So they are also Ichos. So I thought I will mention. Sairam. Sairam, auntie, you want to say something?
No. No.
So if everyone is okay, then we will just move on to the next paragraph. I think it's pretty straightforward. Swami is just explaining to us, and I think Sairam.
Meditation is the basis of spiritual experience. Therefore, everyone must now strengthen the mind and make it be aware of the happy moment of bliss. Otherwise, there is a likelihood of the mind discarding all effort to reach what is now dismissed as empty and useless. But once the mind is convinced that the moment of attunement with divine consciousness, with its Chaitanya, is a moment of complete power, suffused with divine power, Shakti, then the effort will not be slackened. The spiritual aspirant can reach the atmic realization without further interruption. With this as the ideal, carry on meditation and mental repetition of the divine name from now on. The step immediately after meditation, dhyana, is total absorption, samadhi. Meditation is the seventh of the eightfold yoga. Do not give up this royal road that leads you onto that sacred goal. Meditation is the very basis of all spiritual practice, sadhana.
Thank you very much, sister. So as we can see in all the preceding paragraphs, what Swami is trying to make us be aware is that even though sometimes, we may have attempted to do meditation, or we are practicing meditation, sometimes we feel that we are not making progress, and there's a chance that we may give up halfway. Because sometimes we may think it's not taking us anywhere, it's not leading us anywhere. So that we don't lose that momentum, we don't lose that motivation. Swami has told all this, that even an amoeba can survive and grow. So you also can, by sticking to this path of meditation. And he says, we will definitely reach samadhi, state of samadhi, by continuing to steadfastly make dhyana as a form of sadhana, which we take up. And I think that's what Swami is saying. So I will ask others to share your thoughts, please. Saira.
Brother, sometimes there is confusion, as we see in the in the society. There's a confusion that meditation is one of the paths, so it may not be suitable for me, and I can give up it, and I can reach it through other means, by work or worship, or knowledge, jnana. So can you please, Mani Andi also there, please share what do you feel, how Baba is saying here, and what is the truth behind all this, Saira?
It's a very good question, brother. I will ask others to share your thoughts, please.
So, Sairam, brother. So, mind, they are saying the mind is the one going to give the bliss. So, how we can achieve that one? So, through the meditation. So, for that, whatever we learned before, the faith is the important. So, and we have to develop the good qualities. If we take the Pandava and Gaurava, so in Pandava, they surrendered everything to the Lord Krishna. But Gaurava, they had ego, and they had money, power, soldiers, and they had the wrong guidance by Sabuni, and because of the ego, they didn't achieve anything. For same way, the mind, you have to train through the intellect. So we are not supposed to, the mind not supposed to go with 5 senses. So we have to always train properly, then we can achieve the bliss through the meditation. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please?
Sairam, from the second passage, this is my understanding. Swami has given the importance of meditation and the mental repetition of the divine name. I interpret that phrase as namasmarana. So
Yes.
Swami has given importance for the meditation and the namasmarana, but Swami specifically indicated that mental repetition. It could be more than that, the verbal repetition, meditation and the mental repetition of the divine name. So those two things are very important to get into the maybe the samadhi stage or the closer to that one. These two things are very, very important. And Swami even mentioned that, you know, the meditation is the seventh of the eightfold yoga. I'm not sure what would be those eightfold yoga, but Swami indicated that meditation is the seventh of eight. So it could be a stage, maybe eight stage process. Maybe the meditation fit into the seventh step. I'm not sure about that one, but Swami, my understanding is the meditation and the mental namasmarana is very, very important to get into this, you know, the final destination. That's the thing I got from this second passage. Yeah.
Saira, what I understand, the question from Brother Sivadas, meditation is, I always think is a one of the path of 9 devotion. So I think if I cannot do meditation, you can follow the other path. But Swami is saying in this Dhyana Vahini, we have to do it in order to keep our mental peace, and that's the one way of merging with the God. But the eightfold, there's a 8 bhaktis, right? Now the ninth one is surrender. So out of 9 bhaktis, the seventh one is the meditation.
Aruna, it is not bhakti, it is Ashtanga Yoga. It's called Ashtanga Yoga. There are 8 steps. Arun?
Yes, Auntie. Yes.
I mean, it's taken from Patanjali Yoga Sutra.
Yes, Auntie. Yes.
But
You can tell the 8 rangas, Auntie.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Shama, Dama, Uparati.
No, Auntie.
Shama, Dama.
No, Yama. Sorry,
Yama, Niyama.
Yeah.
Asana,
Yama, Niyama,
Dhyana, yeah. Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dhyana, Samadhi. That's the 7th one.
Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. But what Sister Aruna is saying is, I put the question now. I put the question for everybody. That is, I said, okay, can this meditation sadhana given up? Can we not doing it and do other sadhanas to reach the highest final goal? So she is referring Navavida Bhakti. In the Navavida Bhakti,
she is mentioning, yes, correct.
Navavida Bhakti, there are so
referring
many.
to that. No, here Swami says it's 8-fold yoga.
Yeah.
So meditation of the 7th of the 8-fold yoga.
Sairam, yes, I can understand. I thought the meditation, bhakti yogas, but there's a 8-fold yoga. Then we have to understand the 8-fold yoga too.
Yeah, correct. You know, for the weak-minded people, dhyana is not an easy path.
No.
Especially if you until and unless you have the strength of the mind, you cannot carry on with dhyana at all. That is one thing. That's why it is easy. First of all, let us do with the mental repetition of the divine name and carry on for a while, and then maybe we will be able to bring our mind for ekagrata, or the one pointedness. Then we can follow the meditation. Swami as Swami has said. This is one of the paths, that's what I feel. Saira.
Sairam, I feel it's like we can even take a baby step with Namasmarana and the meditation. slowly, one point we can achieve, I think, Brother Sivada's question. But other ways also we can, so lots of ways we already learned in our with the bhakti, so very simple thing we can reach God. Sairam.
Sairam, my point for Brother Sivadas, without having that step, the meditation, my personal view, we cannot reach the destination. All other steps, that would lift us, through the maybe spiritual ladder from one step to other. But without having the meditation, I firmly believe that we can't reach the destination. That's my humble point on this one for Brother Sivadas' question. Thank you, Sairam.
So, Sairam, brother. So, meditation is the goal of samadhi. So, meditation can be done everyone when they, what our Samani Aunty told, wants to control the mind. So, all the thoughts are coming from the mind. So, because of the thoughts, we are getting desire. Because of the desire, we get anger. These are the one blocking us for the dhyana. So what you can do is the namasvarana. Baba told many times, when you do the namasvarana, it will dispassionate from you. If you try that one every time, that namasvarana is the power, it will kill all the bad qualities. Then you can lead on to the dhyana. That is the only way. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, I would like to say the meditation, always we think we had to sit in a place and do meditation. For my view, Swami always say, do your karma like that, the Muni comments, ask the food, and she's doing the duty for her husband. And then she achieved through that. But everyday duty, when we get up in the morning, we are starting with Om chanting, and through devotion, through everything action when we do through Swami's way, then we can that is also meditation. Daily our cooking is also meditation. We can do that way. Whatever duty we are doing is we can do the meditation way. That's why I always believe when I take a bath, I say Gayatri mantras. We can do that way too. Sairam.
Anyone else would like to add any thoughts?
Yes, the three ways are essential for that reach the goal. That's why I'm saying some place that what is that service and namasmana and that meditation. That like a three-wheeler, that if you like that namasmana, you can put in the front wheel namasmana and go the other two wheels in the back. That's way that if you wanted that service, you can put the service in the front wheel, then change the other wheels behind that meditation. If you want that, you can put the meditation in the front, but because you have to need all three, otherwise you can't control the mind. So I'm saying that you have to control the mind with the namasmana only. That's the best way. That also you can get rid of your bad qualities. You have to do that service. This is the best way to get rid of the bad qualities from your heart. That after that you can reach a certain place, you have to do the meditation to that. That is, all three are essential for that that actual goal, I guess. Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
Sairam, I also have a question here on this. On the first paragraph that we are reading right now, is Swami is talking about once the mind is convinced that the moment of attunement with the divine consciousness. How do we convince the mind? That's I have a question on that one. But on the second paragraph, Swami, on the last sentence, he saying, meditation is the very basis of all spiritual practice. Because when we consider even the social service, that even the volunteer work that we are doing, or the bhakti yoga, or the karma yoga, whatever it is, unless we realize they are also divine in nature, we can't be attuning to that, and we won't be doing any service like that. We go out and do service because we are we are seeing them as Narayana. You know, like that's sort of a trend that coming within us, and then only we serve those people. That's even the bhakti yoga. When we are doing the bhakti, we see Swami or the God that we are, the deity that we are praying. We in the pictures that we actually we see them, the God in that picture. We see everything in that sort of a nature, that feeling, that sort of a tendency that coming in us. That's the reason I think Swami is giving most importance, the utmost importance to the meditation, because meditation is the very basis of all spiritual practice. Whatever the practice that we are doing it, but that is a basis. That's my understanding. Could you kindly give me some sort of an understanding? How do we convince our mind? Swami is talking about here that once the mind is convinced, how do we convince it? That's because that most people we are going out of track because we are unable to convince our mind. How do we do that? Kindly share that. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, I just want to add to that also, please. The meditation is a very basic for all spiritual practice. Then now I'm thinking the answer is right or wrong, because Swami is saying it's the basic, right? So every other spiritual sadhana is on top of it. Like we can do it once the meditation is there only. So the meditation we learn earlier is based on the faith and happiness. So now I'm thinking maybe the meditation is important to carry out any spiritual sadhana. I'm thinking like that with the brother Arul's point of view too. Thanks, Sairam.
Thank you.
So Sairam brother, so last class, study circle, we went through that one. The mind, how we can convince the mind. So we have to discriminate what is true and not true. So everything, whatever is seeing, all is going to be destroyed or going to disappear. So it could be your wife, it could be kids, and anybody. So, and second thing is give up attachment, because that also going to that's the only way we can train the mind. So we have to train the mind. At the same time, Mani Aunty also said you have to see the equanimity. So then, and you surrender everything the end of the day, then your mind doesn't have anything. If the mind is not there, then you can do the meditation. That is my understanding. Thank you, Brother Sairam.
Sairam, brother.
Sairam, before we get into Brother Aruno's point, I would just to mention one thing. Swami indicated this meditation and the mental repetition. It's a royal road, the royal road or red carpet road. It would easily take you to the destination. Maybe there are so many different roads to reach the destination, maybe gravel road, maybe local road, highway road, free, 407, 427, it's like that. Swami beautifully indicated that this is the royal road. If you just get in there, just practice to drive into the 427 or 401, then you will reach the destination quickly. So that sort of very important Swami has given to this royal road. That's why Swami even indicated, do not give up this royal road. I see the importance the Swami has given to meditation. Thank you, Sairam. That's my little point to add. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sister. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please? So if this is, thank you for, it's wonderful discussion actually, some good questions also. So I will first start with the original question of the Eightfold Path. So if we go to Bhagavad Gita, Krishna addresses 4 yogas in general: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Raja Yoga. Okay. I think all of us are familiar with Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga. This Raja Yoga is Patanjali Yoga, as Mani Aunty nicely put it. Patanjali sort of scientifically coded it as 8 steps of, or 8 anga, 8-limbed or yoga, which is basically Yama, Niyama, and so on. So that's a separate discussion altogether. But the step before Samadhi in that. So because that path itself is called Raja Yoga, if you want to call it Marga, Raja Yoga. So that is why Swami is saying it's a royal road. The thing is the step before the Samadhi, the final merger, is meditation, Dhyana. Swami has always told us that for every activity which we undertake, some level of meditation is needed for any activity. Even if you're going to cook, even if you're going to drive a car, even if you're going to do, you have to pay attention. Your mind is paying attention. Minding is paying importance. So any subject, if you have to study also, the mind has to apply itself. So that's also concentration and meditation and contemplation, because even if you want to understand a subject, a worldly subject, the mind is focused, concentrated, which is dharana. Then you have to have contemplation, and then we also meditate on it. So all these activities happen in everything which we do, but we don't cultivate it consciously. From a child which is trying to learn to walk, concentration is fully applied and it masters it. So the same way, so in everything we do, dhyana is an integral part, whether we are doing bhakti, upasana, or whether we are doing service, or whether we are studying a text. This aspect of how the mind is controlled and focused on it, dwells on the subject, is an integral aspect of the sadhana. Swami would go on to say, even though bhakti, karma, jnana, and raja are considered separate by people, he will say they are all intertwined. That's what Brother Rajagopal nicely said. That's another analogy Swami has given. You can put you in a three-wheeler. You need all the 3 wheels. Different people can swap, wheels in different order. Someone may put bhakti in the front, but even if you put bhakti in the front, the karma and jnana have to come along. The other wheels also are needed. Otherwise, the three-wheeler will not drive. So whichever path we take as primary, we have to have other aspects also as part of our sadhana. But as Swami has here said, for the merger, dhyana is essential. For example, if you are driving a car, this analogy which comes to me. If you're going to drive a car, is the gear important? Changing the gear important? Is the accelerator important? Or is the steering wheel important? But all this, if you know how to use also, if your eyes are not focused, if your mind is not focused on the path, you can't drive. So meditation is focusing on the name, focusing on that. If you don't open your eyes and look through the windshield at the road ahead, everything will fail. We can say we are doing puja, bhajan, but if our mind is not focused on the form, there is no puja or bhajan at all. If we are doing service, if our mind is not engrossed in the divinity and we are unable to see the divinity, then it is no seva at all. So any path, even if we are studying Swami's literature, if we cannot contemplate on him and read these as his words, we will not get anything out of it. We will not get the evolution. So that is also meditation. When we are reading this also, we have to remember and contemplate and meditate on the Lord. Only then we will understand what he is trying to say. It's just like we were in a classroom. So we have to meditate on the teacher, what the teacher is saying. We have to look at the teacher. We have to listen to the teacher. All this is meditation. After all, meditation trains us. Even though people can say, oh, we can go and meditate anywhere, no problem. Swami has already told in 2 chapters ago, he says, just because you want to start riding, you can't straight away ride on the road. You have to find, empty ground, Maidana, and there where no one else is there, you have to practice it there. Same way, what we are practicing here as meditation is training the mind in an empty ground where we learn to focus on the Lord. Once we have mastered that concentration and focus, just like any driving a vehicle or anything, if we practice it, then we can apply it. So this is only learning the skill of meditation so that we can apply it in the buzz of life, when everything is going on. And I will just, that is my point. Then the brother Arul had asked a question: how do we convince our mind that the divine has all the power? That is the biggest challenge. It's the biggest challenge. Sai Ram.
Very good answer. Yes, very good.
Okay. See, that is a challenge, because anything in this world we do only because we are convinced. See, even if you are pursuing a particular career, even if you're going on a tour, you are going to buy a house, you're going to buy a vehicle, anything, we convince ourselves there is something good coming out of it. Why? How? Because we talk to people, we form our own impressions and so on. Same way, even in the path of divine, that is why Swami is saying, just listening to Swami, okay, Swami has said it, I'm going to believe. I'm going to think that this is going to give me value. We need to convince ourselves. And to convince that, Swami, usually in all of our lives, he has given some experience.
Yeah.
That he is looking after us, he can get us over problem. He will give us some experience so that we can have that confidence. So we should take that confidence and build on it, is I think what Swami is saying. So that is the conviction which comes only with our faith in Swami. And that's all I understand.
Sai Ram, brother, I was very, very impressed with your explanation. I always say we are doing the satsangam, each word as a namasmarana. Yeah, what we are doing is meditation. Always, I believe that way. Even I go in bhajans and sometimes my mind distracted and things like that. When I do satsang, each word is transforming us. That's the way I do satsang, and I listen the satsang and I understand the words, and like that. And also, Arul's question is like convincing mind is, we shouldn't say to the mind, stop focusing on that, do not do that, and focus on Swami like that. When we say don't do that in your mind will say again and again, do that thing. Like when we do the babies, don't touch, baby will touch. That's the way the mind also do that's why we had to practice through practice. But how we shouldn't deeply hard to do that. Slowly it will come. Sairam.
Sairam, brother. Could you please touch on Brother Sivada's question also, please, about the meditation part?
So I thought I touched on it. Brother Sivada's...
Actually, you touched it. Okay, that every path needs meditation aspect, and the final merger, the ultimate reality, is it through jnana or through yoga?
Sairam, I have that same question as well, so please.
See, again, it's like, the jnana does not dawn when there's no dhyana. See, even to know, so what is jnana, ultimate jnana is that I am the Atma. Okay. To know that, you have to contemplate on the Atma. So dhyana is an integral part of the jnana marga. See, jnana is not in a vacuum. I think Swami has already touched. Many people say that we should not have attributeless state or something like that, in the previous two paragraphs. Swami says that means empty. Okay, jnana is not empty. Jnana is full. It's full with divine consciousness. So that means you are contemplating. See, that is a subtle difference between the Shunyavada and Purnavada of Advaita. See, I'm treading into the concept of Shunyavada in Buddhism and Jainism, where they are saying in this world everything doesn't exist. Whereas in Advaita, they will say there's one principle which exists, but the world does not exist. That is a difference. So we should not think jnana is empty. Jnana is full means it's only full because of dhyana. That is my understanding. Actually, some of this Krishna is addressing in 12th chapter of Gita. So I think that will be a digression, so I will not go into that. But Krishna takes step by step. And if you can't do this, if you do this, if abhyasena, like that. Jnanat dhyanam visishyate, dhyanat karma palatyaga, dhyanat daiva. So he's saying jnanam is important. If that is not there, you do this. If not, yeah. The thing is, ultimately, you start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. You start with karma palatyaga, then you go into jnana, then dhyana. So all these are covered in chapter 12 of Gita. So it is addressed. So dhyanam, see, if you look at Swami's Vahinis, Swami has told about all, do bhajan, do namasmarana. The only practice on which Swami has written a Vahini is Dhyana Vahini. That should give us some understanding how much importance Swami has given for this path. Other than that, I don't want to say. Because is there a Vahini on Bhakti? Nothing. See, Swami has talked about Gita where he has touched on everything. But as a single path of sadhana, he has given this. That is why in the 9-point code of conduct, the first one is daily meditation and japa, prayer. So that is the 9-point code of number 1. So that is important to start and the end, both it's important.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. Even other study circle material that we do in English, this point is stressed there. That is, that jnana can come final fruition through meditation. That point is there everywhere. So the meditation, without meditation, we cannot get to full jnana. So meditation is
an integral part. Let's say it's jnani is in the bhakta, he is a bhakta also. Jnani is a bhakta.
Yeah.
4 types of bhakta, jnani is a bhakta.
Yeah.
Means a bhakta with jnanam is jnani.
Yeah.
The jnani is also a jnani.
Yeah.
Not too much difference even in the letters.
Yeah. And also, brother, the Arul's question, I think that, but once the mind is convinced that the moment of attunement with divine consciousness is a moment of complete power suffused with divine Shakti, then the effort will not be slackened. The spiritual aspirant can reach the Atmic realization without further interruption. I think whether it could be some experience in meditation. The beginning of meditation, if it could be some experience, no? Bhagawan can grant some experience, so that from that experience, we think, okay, we can succeed, conducive. So some thing, through the grace of God, if some inkling of experience is given to us, then the effort will not be slackened. It could mean that one also, because let us ask Brother Arul how satisfied he is now with your explanation and everything. Thank you.
I'm quite pleased with that. A very good explanation. I like that Brother Arul's explanation. I loved it actually. Thank you very much, Brother Arul.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
So it's about 4:46.
Yeah.
I think we had, I think we have come to the end of chapter 4, I guess. So Swami has sort of convinced us, trying to convince us the importance, the necessity, the urgency. Because Swami says from now on, the last paragraph is don't waste time.
Yeah.
So the urgency, the importance, and the necessity of meditation as a skill which every devotee, whether he's a karma yogi or jnana yogi or bhakti yogi, we have to cultivate that as an integral part of our sadhana, is what Swami is telling here. So with those words, I think we can meditate on that, and we can meditate on Swami and chant his name.
Before we complete, I would like to share one experience.
Yes, Sandy, please go ahead.
As you said, meditation is the integral part of any activity which we do. Without meditation, we cannot do some work properly. In that connection, once a devotee asked Swami, I am not able to meditate, my mind goes here and there, so please advise me. Then Swami said, you read newspaper. When you are reading the newspaper, you are not bothered about your child crying or your wife shouting at you. But your concentration is full on the newspaper and you're reading the newspaper. So is it not meditation? He asked the devotee. So without meditation, we cannot achieve anything in this, any job which we do, any activity which we do. It is just an integral part. As you said, driving or cooking, even for cooking when we are doing, unless we concentrate on what we are doing, the cooking will not be a successful, tasty food. Okay, Sairam, just to share that.
Thank you very much, Andy. Thank you very much.
So Sairam brother, I'd like to add one more thing about mind. The mind is the leader of the five senses. So when you are talking, I may looking at you, but my mind will go somewhere in other country, and you might ask, what did I say to you now? But my eye is looking at you, I'm focusing on you, but I'm not here. So we have to control the mind, then we can achieve that one. Thank you, brother Sairam.
Sairam, brother Sairam. So it was a wonderful discussion, and I think enough material for us to contemplate and motivate ourselves. So with those words, we will close today's study circle with Samasta Loka and Shanti Shanti.
Okay.
Om Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sai Ram, everyone.
Sairam.
Sairam.
Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you.